Hello and welcome back to the Novice Lumberjack, where outside it sounds like a Garth Brooks song, and the thunder rolls, and the thunder rolls, thunder rolls, and the lightning strikes. Another heart grows cold on a sleepless night. Didn't everybody in the 90s love Garth Brooks? Nah, there was probably some people that really hated him. So we have this Shindaiwa 757 here that we are about to dive into. There we go. Now, if the story is true, which I have no reason to doubt it, the story is that this was... The story is that this was used by the owner's children. My guess is the children are older and grown, but that's all it is a guess. And what they did was they used it and then left it sit out in the rain. And we are now seized up. Well, if that is actually the gist of what really happened, then what I am expecting to find is that the cylinder and piston are going to be fine. Oh, my battery's dead. I have another one here I can use for now. Let go. Let go. See? Just got to tell it. Be the boss. I'm expecting it to be perfectly fine. If in fact that's the real story, I'm expecting that the cylinder is just going to pretty easily come right off, and it'll actually be salvageable. Might go ahead and throw some new rings in there. Maybe this thing has seen a lot of use and the piston is worn out a little bit, so might as well throw a piston in there while I'm at it. We'll see when we break it down. And then the reason it's seized, what I will expect, is that because water got into the crankcase and sat there, and it seized the bottom end. Now, if it did in fact seize the bottom end, then we could have a handful of problems. Being the main bearings are seized and need to be replaced, and the big one that we really don't want is the rod bearing on the crank. Because if the rod bearing is bad, there's pretty much no way to fix it other than getting an entirely new crank with the rod, the crank assembly. Because you have to separate that the crank and rod assembly to be able to replace that bearing. And then you would obviously have to be able to find that bearing. I don't know how easy that would be, but I do know that anything's possible. I don't want to say I can't do it, but it probably is not going to be a worthwhile effort, because the amount of work that I would have to put into it to make all that happen, it's going to be in depth. Let's just put it that way. So, fingers crossed, hoping for the best, that I'm wrong on all accounts, and it just is a simple little piston seizure that I can deal with easily. We can dream, right? We can hope. Whatever is going to be the case, this is probably going to be a pretty darn expensive fix, but as the gentleman who owns this saw, I've already forgotten your name. I think it's James, though. I think James is your name. I'd have to go through my emails and see. But as the owner suggests, is replacing it would be $1,000 or $1,200 endeavor. So why not put it on this saw? Huh? Fair point. Getting these fuel lines off of here. There we go. There we go. Choke lever is off. Boy, that throttle linkage is difficult. There we go. Carburetor's out. Moment of truth. I have to shove that intake boot out through the hole here. These things are put together very similar to a Dolmar, Makita type. And what I mean by that is everything is really fitted. There's no slop in this chassis. So it gets difficult to deal with. Come on. Gotta be careful, I do not want to rip this boot. Let's go ahead and take this top handle off. Man, this thing's oily. Oil all over the place, just creeping out of every crevice. And I think I mentioned it before, my guess with that was that maybe he squirted oil down in the cylinder, and so whenever he drained the oil from the saw to ship it, there was all kinds of oil in the cylinder / crankcase. Man, I'm going to have to take that gas tank off of there, I think. Might as well go ahead and do it. Bite the bullet. So as nice as these things can be, the over-engineering can make them a pain to work on. It's all fitted together so well, makes everything really tight, and you just don't have any play to mess around, you know? No way. There's an isolation buffer behind that fucking exciter coil. Ugh. So that's got to come off. Anti-vibe mount probably is what I should have called it. But yeah, she's tight. It's completely locked down. Whatever's going on with it. All right. No, I ain't dealing with that no more. That's why we got power tools. Hopefully it's not turning inside that AV mount. There's another one up top. Dang. Gotta have a lot of tools to work on these things, huh? All right, that's loose. Let's go ahead and come off with it. Hell, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. There we go. All right. Oh, come on, really? Wires, wires, everywhere wires. What is holding on to it? There we go. All right. Fuel tank is gone and out the way. Yep. Hey, yay. Definitely a lot of water damage in there, but it probably will clean up just fine. I don't know how much you can see in there, but I mean, the cylinder looks good. It's just got clearly water had gotten down into it. Very clearly. But should be a salvageable cylinder. All right, now here's where the problem is. Yee! All right, it seems to totally be the rod bearing, because I can move it back and forth, which tells me your main bearings are fine. Or at least, you know, they're not what's seizing it up. But the piston rocking back and forth there, it's the rod bearing that is seized. Fudge. That is exactly what we do not want. Come on. Let's see if we can get that piston off. No, we're not going to be able to. It doesn't have enough clearance. We got to get it standing up. So, let's go ahead and try something here. Nope, 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 nope. Yes, 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 yes. There we go. Oh, that clutch is seized on there too. No! Get some vice grips. Ah. We're going to need some heat. Heat. Come on, heat. Where you at? A lot of oil on this thing. Come on. Oh, ooh. Oh, yeah. We all make mistakes, damn it. It is still seized, though. Ah, come on. Don't like that. Huh? Huh? Ha ha ha! Woo-hoo-hoo! Okay. I don't want to touch it. There we go. Yeah, it's your rod bearing. I can't even quite get in there. All right, so you know what I'm going to do? This is Schaefer's Penetro 90. I'm going to fill that crankcase with this. It's already moving more freely. So close. It is definitely moving. It is, we're rocking it, we're moving it. Ah, there we go. There we go. James, buddy, if that is your actual name, I hope I got that right. I think it's James. There we go. So in my mind, yeah, we're moving. We're rotating pretty darn good. So in my mind, what we'll do from here at this point is we'll rotate that all the way down to bottom dead center. That way that that rod bearing sits in this, all right? And after that, after we give it a while to do that, you know, we come back to it, we check it out, we see how good we think it is. We think that, are the bearings actually good, you know, make an assessment. But I bet you we'll just port this thing up and throw it back together. You know, I mean, there's a lot of folks, like especially shops. Shops can't do stuff like this. A shop, like an actual full tilt shop, they would never, ever do this. Because if something goes wrong, it comes back on them. So they have to do nothing but throw brand new parts at them. I completely understand it, but the reason for it is probably because that's just simply the way our society has gone. You can't really give your best effort because somebody will come back and it'll haunt you. They'll say, oh, you did a hack fix and stuff like that. Well, yeah, that hack fix saved you $1,000, you know. But I bet you, even if there are just little tiny spots, but it's feeling good. It is feeling very good. You should be very happy right now. Even if there are little tiny spots of rough catches and stuff like that, I still, for what we got going on here, your other option is to break it completely down, put a brand new crankshaft in it, if you can find one, new main bearings, and the full tilt boogie, right? And it's going to cost a lot of money. Whereas it won't be any money lost, really, if you just try and go for it the way it is, because if the bottom end fails on you, well, then it had failed anyways. So you know, I definitely will let this sit, then clean it up. I'll let it sit for a full day like this. I'll come back at it tomorrow, and we will check it out from there. We will see what the heck is going on, and should we proceed forward. I personally think, I'm looking at this piston right now. The rings are locked down tight. I personally think a new piston and ring setup, maybe rebuild the carburetor, port and polish it, good to go. That's what I think. All right, so that's enough for this video. We'll set this out of the way and get started on something else. Ha ha! Good news.